Today, more than half the world's poorest people live in sub-Saharan Africa.
Why? Why is it that most of Africa stays poor while other parts of the world prosper? People have lots of theories.
Clean water is simply hard to find.
The present-day problems of the African continent are tied to its colonial history.
But I say Magatte Wade's explanation makes the most sense. African governments simply have too many rules.
Once you hire someone, good luck getting rid of them for any reason.
Then there's taxes.
The tax code is so complicated. Some people say it's worth at least 2 or 3 truckloads of paper.
Wade started this lip balm company in Senegal. Some ingredients she needs are not made there, so she imports them. But the government makes that expensive.
Some of them have a 70% import tariff on them.
So it almost doubles the price of things.
Exactly.
Many people then escape the tax by paying bribes. We hear about African corruption.
People complain about corruption as if corruption is a root problem. I say no, corruption is also a natural consequence of stupid, senseless, idiot laws.
There'd be just as much corruption in America if we had these rules?
Absolutely. The only way to fix corruption is to simplify.
Wade's business survived because she was fortunate to find a helpful bureaucrat.
I went to see the head of customs, and we started looking together.
He didn't demand a bribe.
We found a clause in one of the binders saying, actually, if you're exporting at least 80% of your products, and if you've been in business for 2 years, then you can ask for an exemption.
You survive through a loophole, but that takes connections and time to get each done. I imagine the leaders of these countries mostly mean well. They see how damaging this is. Why do they impose all these rules?
I am not so sure that all of them get it. Look at the UN, the Sustainable Development Goals.
The UN's development goals include things like inclusive and equitable education, climate change, and gender equality. There's no mention of rules that kill business.
We have chains around our necks, no one is seeing it, and then they want to come talk to me about inequality. We need greater economic freedom.
Simple rules that everyone can understand.
Yes. That diagnosis is known by almost no one.
It should be known. If you just look at the rest of the world, you can see what's worked and what hasn't. Wade just made this movie about that.
Why is it that a couple decades ago, China was at the same level as most African countries? Countries like Singapore made it. Countries like Hong Kong made it. Even a place like Dubai, bare land of sand, desert sand, and all of a sudden, within 12, 15 years, Dubai, one of the financial centers of the world, and you're like, what? What happened here? They understood if we do not work hard to make it easy for businesses to set up and be ran, no businesses is going to come.
But international aid organizations have a different solution.
They say the nations of the world need to send more help.
Governments already send $50 billion a year to Africa, and companies promote themselves by donating.
What if I started a shoe company, and every time I sold a pair of shoes, I gave a pair away? These kids will have shoes for the rest of their life.
Tom's Shoes has donated 93 million pairs of shoes.
Do you know that we have 232 shoe-making small businesses, each one of them hiring directly at least 15 people?
In this little village?
Yes. So when you buy your shoes in the US and pairs of shoes are being put in a container to be shipped over to my village, shoemaker has now to close the doors because who can compete against free?
This man's still in business, but it's a struggle.
Dama dégg nii à Dakar. Am na ay dàll yu fa une certaine entreprise Tom buy defar ay dàll di ko ñëw di ko distribuer.
I know it came from a good place, I get it. But can you just think further down the road? Unless you think that we really sincerely have nothing, including even shoemakers. And I think that's terrible.
To give in such a way that has no end.
Yet Tom's Shoes 2-for-1 deal is popular.
One company started it, did so well with it, with a buy one, we're going to give one for free to poor people, that now you're seeing it with tampons, you're seeing it with soap, you're seeing it with everything.
It would be better, says Wade, if Westerners encouraged African governments to stop strangling their own entrepreneurs.
If I have a job, then guess what? My malnutrition problem goes poof. My even access to clean water goes poof. You know, it just poof, 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 poof.
But without jobs, millions risk their lives trying to get to richer countries.
Some of my most entrepreneurial people who are right now serving as fish food at the bottom of the ocean because there is not enough jobs. And why there is not enough jobs? Because the business climate sucks so much that people like me can't do their work of creating companies and jobs.
Many of those deaths would be prevented if Africa just didn't have so many dumb rules.
And that's the one inequality we should talk about. No one talks about it.
An equal playing field of rules.
Yes, yes. Let's create greater economic freedom in all countries so that all people everywhere get a chance to free enterprise.